Hello, everybody. It's another night, another camera away show here with the lightning news flash. Just kind of getting back to our Halloween deal. I mean, Halloween's approaching, as you can see it. It approaches right there. If you haven't seen Phantom of the Paradise, this is the character from it here in the bottom right-hand corner. And of course, that's Sammy Kerr over there from the artwork of Trick or Treat, which is still one of my favorite Halloween movies. These are two movies that I haven't watched yet this season, so probably tonight, while I'm taking care of a few things, I'll be doing that. In the background, you'll notice behind the character from Paradise is one of the zombie skeleton pilots from the heavy metal movie. That's really, really cool. Really cool stuff. So we'll take this off of here, and we'll get started here. I'm hoping to have a quick visit, and we'll see if that's going to happen. What's shaking there, Crimson Cross? Good to see you. And yeah, we're pretty close. We were just chatting today a little bit through email. I sent Dennis a quick note to say thank you very much, because I appreciate the support and everything, and it's just great. It's good to know what we're doing. It's good. And let's move on. Let's get the hair out. Look at this. I got my. I did not see this tour, but this was the first album that I ever had by Judas Priest. We had it on 8-track, and then I ended up getting it on vinyl, and it was just fantastic. I loved it. The first song of theirs I ever heard was Take on All the World. My brother was listening to it with his headphones, with the extension cord. I'm sure, Cross, you remember that one, right? The old extension cords. You'd have like this pigtail extension cord that just would go from one end of the house to the other, and that's the way he did it. He had it going from his bedroom into the hallway and into the bathroom. And I went by there, and he goes, "Man, you got to hear this. It's really good stuff." So Take on All the World was the very first thing I ever heard. And I still have that 8-track. Originally the album, that's the Hellbent for Leather album, but originally in England, when it was released, it was called The Killing Machine, which is one of the other songs on the record. Then I realized today, and I apologize because I'm going to be dumping a bunch in tonight. Take a look at the Facebook page, and I'm going to be putting in some more of the rock and recovery tunes, because I rock and recovery radio, I've totally blanked. I had such a busy weekend and things happening that I totally blanked. And so my friend's probably waiting for new songs. I have to get them to him. I feel terrible, but we'll get it figured out, and it'll be great. I'll dump some. Probably what I'm going to do is dump some of these Halloween tunes in there, and get that going. And I also need to make sure I have my phone ready to go here, because I want to be able to talk to you some more about some of those. So I was talking with Sam Spade there from the Midnight Devils a little earlier. They're over in England right now. They get ready to go. Not tomorrow. They got one day. I wonder what that's going to be like, being in England and on Halloween. I wonder how things are there with that. I don't know. Could be different. Could be the same. Could be incredible. As my friend says, if you're interested, and he goes, interested, I'm fascinated. But yeah, so I don't know if we'll see Sam today. I was hoping that we might. Sent him a link, and hopefully he'll be able to pop in. But here's the really cool thing is I made a contact with Russ Ballard, and I'm sure that there's some of you out there that are familiar with Russ Ballard. If you're not, he is the reason that the most popular of the Kiss solo records had a hit was Ace Frehley's. That's the one that had a hit off of it, and it was New York Groove. In fact, it appears in a fight scene with the kind of the white werewolf-headed robots on Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. But when you see the Attack of the Phantoms version, the Japanese version, they put New York Groove in for that fight scene. So it's kind of cool. So that was a song written by Russ Ballard. And then a few years after that, Uriah Heep, and I'll show you this here in just a minute. Uriah Heep would then be one of the many people and groups that covered Russ Ballard, of course, who used to be in Argent, co-wrote "Hold Your Head Up," but they would do a song of his called "On the Rebound." Now, in 1984, which was soon after that, I was really thrilled. On the radio, they were playing in my hometown, and I think they played it here on Casey as well. Is his title track to his album Voices, and it was a great, great haunting track called Voices. Great song, good album too, really good album. But I just heard from him today. I'm trying to get an interview with him for the show, and he mentioned that things are kind of busy right now because he's getting ready to go on tour. Where? In the UK. Midnight Devils are going to be playing at the HRH festival over there. And then here I was looking at his tour schedule, and he's playing the same festival. So hopefully Sam was kind of excited. He says, "No way, that's so incredible. I hope we can meet with him." And Sam, if I can put this out to you, if I don't talk to you today, if I can put this out to you, please get me an autograph. That would be great. And tell him you're working with me, and then we can get this thing together. But I'm going to be talking with him about maybe catching up on the tour schedule. So that's that. But hopefully that'll work out. But you know what? While I'm at it, let's just see. I think I may still have, just for fun, I may still have his dates pulled up. The weather here is chilly today, guys. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it's beautiful though. It's sunny and chilly. So I may have to finish this quick lightning news flash and then get out and do my lawn. But we'll see what happens here. See if I can find these. If I still have, I'm sure I still, I don't see it. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I had them pulled up still, but I'm not seeing them. Well, maybe this is where it was. So he's doing, also Russ Ballard is doing this tour in Europe in 2024. It's called Let's Rock Tour 2024. The original rock meets classic. And it has Nightwish. Nightwish is Tarja Turunen, former Nightwish singer. As soon as I got into Nightwish, she was fired. So I bought once, and then I bought the live album, and they fired her. So that sucked. But she's been doing great on her own. I'm so glad that she's doing so well. And I totally understand what the deal was there, you know. John Hellowell and Jesse Seibenberg are going to be there from Supertramp. Midge Ure from Ultravox is going to be there. Manfred Mann's Earth Band has Robert Hart is going to be there. Paul Shortino, who was in Quiet Riot for a short bit. He also was in all kinds of stuff. But including Iron Horse, he did some of that stuff. And he's done, of course, the King Cobra stuff. But then very special guest, Russ Ballard, right there. Russ Ballard. It's kind of cool. So that's neat. Oh, yeah, there's the dates right there. Yeah, so both Midnight Devils and Russ Ballard are playing the HRH Prague Fest. And or is that, maybe that's something different? That's the Prague Fest. So anyway, but they're both playing at the Tivoli as well. He's going to play there on the 11th, and I have the Midnight Devils schedule to put up here in a minute. We'll take a look. So yeah, exactly. Like, oh man, that's Absolutely true. The long phone cord back in the day. Oh, man. If a friend called you, it would people I'll never forget it. It's like it's so weird. We don't even think about it or people that are younger who just have been around for the phones don't even get what it was like to duck underneath a phone cord periodically or as you're picking it up and going underneath it. That's kind of wild. The physics, the physics of my youth, right? Um, so anyway, but yeah, so I don't know if we'll like I say, I don't know if we'll hear from Sam right now, but let's get into some of these other songs that I was talking about, and then we'll go from there. But needless to say, they have arrived in England. The Midnight Devils are there and getting ready for their uh, to start their tour on Wednesday with their dates. I'll tell you what, let's just pull that up right now so we can take a look. There is a perfectly, absolutely, as I mentioned in the description, a perfect thing to share with you today if you've not heard of this band. But here we go. So you can see they're going to be playing starting Wednesday at Waterloo Music Bar in Blackpool over there. And they're going to be playing at Ghost in Nottingham on the 3rd. So they get a day off and then they're back in on Friday and Saturday at the HRH Fest on the 4th. That's in Yarmouth. And then Bannerman's in Edinburgh, Scotland. You got to love that, man. They're going to go to Scotland. That's so awesome. And then Belfast, they take a day off and then they go to play Voodoo at Belfast the next day. And then it's just boom, boom, boom. So, and then 11 in Staffordshire and then Hard Rock Cafe in Glasgow. I mean, that's a dream, man. I would love to do that. Skinner's Arms in this one is interesting. Mockingleth. There you go. How about that? And then Buckley at the Tivoli. So there's where they're playing the same place as Russ is playing. I think Russ plays the day before, if I'm not mistaken there. So on the 11th, I think that's what I just said a little bit ago, right? So there you go. Hollywood Sunset Sleaze UK Tour. So they got Pretty Boy Floyd and the Midnight Devils. Let me know if you've had a chance to listen to the Midnight Devils. And it's to me, man, it is worthwhile. It is Party Hound Central right there. So let's get into this to these movies real quick. Now, I'm going to start with this one because this is a classic. If you've never had the opportunity to go out and see it in the theater and not only see it, but experience it with tons of people who are in and taking advantage of all the things that you're supposed to do in this movie. And I'll tell you what, I'll even share my book. I'll do some notes from my book and that'll let you know what you should be prepared to do. But we used to go to Kroger and we used to get they would throw out all of their bread and we'd just go there and pull loaves because we had to be ready with our newspaper and loaves of bread and squirt bottles in the theater to see the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So you can see this is the 45th anniversary edition that I got. I also still have my DVD. I have it on DVD as well. But yeah, still a crazy show. And what a great crowd pleaser. I mean, it's fun hanging out and seeing that. Now, I do have a story about that. I can share that now because it's, there's no reason to hold on to that when it's a perfect time. There was going to be a production of this here in town, and I had secured the position of playing Eddie. So I actually I purchased a used saxophone from somebody because so I could just throw it around and have fun, right? I still have it back there. And so maybe I guess some year I should go as Eddie, I suppose. But yeah, it just didn't end up happening. We were going to do it at one of the big venues here. In fact, they just had one of the Canadian tours just came through here with Aldo Nova and Honeymoon Suite and Somebody else. I don't remember why I can't think of who it was, but I would have loved to have gone to the show, but we were out of town. So, but yeah, and then Bryan Adams just played here not long ago. Speaking of Canadians, um, but then Rocky Horror is a musical, right? For the most part. So then this kind of macabre Stephen Sondheim musical really caught my eye too. I thought it was really good. Enjoyed watching it. And then I've seen it recently in the theater at one of our local theaters here at the Muni, the outdoor theater. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give you the rest of these because I think you should know about them before Halloween. I don't want to tell you tomorrow and you're like, oh, I wish you would have told me. I probably could have ordered it or gone to pick it up or checked it out from the library or checked for it to see if it was on streaming. So there's the last one I'm going to show you is something that just came to my attention last year. And I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it and I had to have it. But this one is another movie that I know y'all love, Lost Boys. Fantastic film, great soundtrack. And it's not only got all the killer songs in it, but it's got Tim Capello in it as well. So you get the opportunity to see somebody playing music in the movie. Like I said yesterday, when they had Angel was in Foxes all those years ago, back in '79, I think that was. Miss So, hello. Oh, I love this. The Waving Pumpkin. Love it. Love it. Love it. Used to go to Rocky Horror all the time back in high school. That was exactly when I did it too. Yep, which I think was like 3 years ago for me, I think. Was it something like that? Something like that. Hey, Catherick, what's up? It is a grand movie, man. And I'm assuming that you could be talking about Rocky Horror, but I think you're talking about this one, right? I mean, Rocky Horror, both of them, they're great. All of these are in my eyes. All of these are great. But yeah, Lost Boys. This is a big favorite in our household. And there's a great story that goes with that one. I was away. I don't know what I was doing. I was away from the house doing something. And I was talking to my wife on the phone about it. And she says she was here with our daughter, who was 9 at the time. And she's like, hey, we're going to watch Lost Boys. I go, no, you are not. She's like, why not? I said, Laura can't watch that film. That's not good for her. She's like, well, like what? It's just there's nothing wrong with this conversation. What I'm talking about. It's just the interesting way that people watch films and think about films, right? One person's thinking there's nothing wrong with this film. Everybody knows this film. It's fun. It's got comic books in it. They talk about comics. It's kind of scary, but it's cool and fun. And there's great music, right? You're not thinking about all the stuff. I'm like, no. You can't do that. There's that part where they're like biting them in the head and the blood spewing out. And there's just no. So she's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that part. I'm like, yeah, those are good things to think about. But great music. Talking not only the Tim Capello tune, who that saxophonist, does anybody know? I'll throw this out there as a trivia while I'm yapping. Does anybody know with whom he had been playing at the time? It was right there in the 80s, mid 80s. And he'd been, he was in buff shape and everything. And he'd been touring with whom? That's my question for now. Best vampire movie, with the exception of Bram Stoker's Dracula. There you go. You're talking about the one with Gary Oldman? Is that the one you mean? That version? I should get Rocky Horror and that Phantom Paradise. Yes. You should. I'll tell you what, I don't know if I'm doing anything with my DVD version, but I think it's whatever, I mean, I'd be like, dude, with all the support, I would send you my DVD. Yeah, they're all, thank you. Yes, all are good. They're all good. I love it. But yeah, all the songs that were on the Lost Boys, you've got In Excess with Tell Me, Help Me. Why can't I think of it? Jimmy Barnes. Yeah, doing that track. That's a song I've been wanting to play for years in my band. And just haven't gotten around to it. Jimmy Barnes is a fantastic fantastic singer. He's got a great voice. If you haven't heard any of his stuff, I think Runaway Train is the album that I have. So good. You've got also on here, you've got Echo and the Bunnymen doing a great cover of The Doors, People Are Strange. A great song for your party, or if you're giving away candy tomorrow night and you want to have music playing outside, it's great. Ah, yes, talking about Gary Oldman. He is a fantastic actor. He's done so many different roles and done them all well, you know. He's one of those guys that even if he's in a crappy movie, he lends a great bright point to that movie. And I was rewatching my show that I did, what was it, yesterday? And I said great a lot. I'm really sorry about that. I'll come up with some other words. I was like, great, was great. They were great. He was great. This was great. I'm like, wow, I think I'm going to puke out great. What's the also on here is Lou Gramm. Lou Gramm's on here. What else was on this soundtrack? I can't remember. I just remember getting the vinyl. I have the vinyl back here. And I got a John Butcher album that same day. John Butcher's Axis. Now here's one that's got some cool rock and roll tunes in it. Periodically, but just a fun film. And it reminds me, I have a package I need to send out to my friend JD. And that's the movie House. Ding dong, you're dead. Have you seen this one, anybody? If you haven't seen it, it's fantastic. The second one, and I don't really remember about the third one, but I haven't finished watching the fourth one. So William Catt was in this, and it's got George Wendt and Richard Mall. So lots of TV guys. And then Kay Lenz is in it as well. And just a brilliant gotcha kind of movie with that camp from back in that 80s time frame. And a wonderful film. House 4 came out. Like I say, William Catt made a reappearance in it. And we talked about it between me and the guys on Go Game Go. And we're like, it's unfortunate. Matthew Perry, we'll just give a quick bow to Matthew Perry. It's so sad that he left us at such an early age as well. 54. Didn't, whew, that means I wouldn't be here anymore. That would be not making me happy. But yeah, I was out at the Steelheart gig when they were mentioning that the other night. Let's see. Sometimes stuff is great. House is solid. I didn't mind 2, but I didn't know they made 2 more after that. Just 2 was just okay. I just was, it just didn't thrill me. It had the Western feel with it, the guys. Yeah, way too young. But you know what? He made it 2 years further than Robert Palmer did. That just kind of flips me out, when especially when you're dealing with all that and you're like, wow, I'm 58. So you're like, okay, I'm still fortunate to be out and rocking out. So now here's one that's, for a couple of reasons. This is one that I recorded and then I converted it. So I've got no cover for this right now, but they did release these on DVD and maybe videotape. They maybe put it on VHS. But did anybody watch the show Strange Frequency? They had an episode named Soul Man, and this was a series that had Roger Daltrey as the guide. So he was like this. In this one, he's in a pawn shop, and he sells James Marsters, who was Spike on Buffy, sells him a guitar, and it comes with it a price, of course. So he's supposed to be like the devil with whom he made the deal. Another great thriller is Buried Alive with Tim Matheson and Jason Lee. And it also has that redheaded guy who yes, it is true. This man has no dick. The redheaded guy who always plays an ass. He's an ass in this movie. He's an ass in Ghostbusters. He's an ass in Die Hard and Die Hard 2. But he's in it too. And Tim Matheson is great. He's been with me since childhood because he did the voice of Johnny Quest, yes, and Hanna-Barbera as well. Within Hanna-Barbera as well, he did the voice of Jace in Space Ghost. So, and then of course, growing up and seeing him in Animal House was fantastic. So, but yeah, Buried Alive. It was on the USA. It was made for television movie, and it also has Gremlins star Hoyt Axton is in it as well. Plays his friend, the sheriff. Yeah, they are fantastic. They had that great movie came out. It's probably over 10 years old now, easily. Called That One Guy from That One Thing, something like that. It was a great movie about character actors, and it had one of my favorites on there, which is why can't I say his name? Joe. I can't say his name. Is it Joe? I've got his book right over there. And I see it. I think I see it. It's right there. What's his name? I can't read it from here. God. He was in The Matrix. What's his name? He's eating steak. I can't think of it. Anyway, it starts with a P, doesn't it? He was also in Memento. I need to rewatch Memento as well. All right. So the last film I'm going to talk about, I just got into it last year. It's Thank you. Thank you so much. This is true. Yes. It's that guy Joe from That One Thing. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Yeah, it starts with a P, doesn't it? Pantoliano, Joe Pantoliano. Yeah. I really, really like him. He's great. He was also in he was his manager in La Bamba. I think he was the manager opposite Lou Diamond Phillips in that. And we'll be talking about those movies too down the line. But this is a movie. Listen to this. It's got, I don't know if you know any of, you'll know some of these musicians that are in this, but then it's got these other guys that you may or may not know. I don't know. I'm trying to even figure out where it was that I saw it. I guess it's on some streaming service and I watched it. Alice Cooper, Iggy Pop, Moby, Henry Rollins. It's got Malcolm McDowell. I forgot about that. And then it's got, this is where I'm going to use it. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Here I go. Light it up. It's got Jessica Perret and Rob Stepaniak. And it is a fun movie. Just trying to see if it's got the time on here or not. Because I don't think it's a very long movie, which is great, right? I think it's an hour and 45 minutes is all it is. And it's a brilliant rock and roll movie called Suck. So I don't even know if I want to try to do the premise, but if you notice on the back, let me see if I could do this. You'll notice it's all in, of course my camera's doing funky things. This is just makes me happy. It's all in French. So that's great. Sang pour sang rock and roll. Les membres do. No, I'm not even going to try. If Pete was here, my buddy Papa Pete, he'd be killing it right now. But Suck. Check it out if you haven't seen it. if you love some of these other movies, especially like Lost Boys, you're gonna love it because it's a great uh it's that great kind of campy movie that just doesn't take itself too seriously, but is well done. You know, it's one of those. Um, and let's see, it's a good villain in the Matrix. Yes, he was. He was a Judas for sure. A good Judas in that movie. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, check it out. It's nice and easy to remember, right? Suck. Basically, it's about a band that's they're working on doing some recordings and they're touring, doing this van tour, and all the players are really good, I think. And then there's some of the guys that are in it that I think are kind of hmm, I don't know, but they give you that good, you know, maybe not an actor, but that person that you think is going to be funny in your movie. Um, and it was great. Oh, now I forgot about that. I forgot that Joe was in Midnight Run. Huh. I'd have to even see what else uh, that I really enjoy him in. Um, but yeah, great movies. So I think that's about it for all the rock and roll style or music style um, films. I could be missing some, but there's always things that you don't own. There is a great movie that I think about that is oh, I know what else too. Um, that I think about is Fire and Ice. It's a Ralph Bakshi film. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out. It's got kind of I won't say a horror edge to it, but it's a fantasy. Um, well, it does kind of have a horror edge to it. I think there's like witches in it and stuff. And okay, hang on to your hats because that was such a brilliant segue. Are you ready? All right. So this is what I want to let you guys know about. Um, Everybody, raise your hand if you're into metal. I mean, I got the shirt, and stuff. So I love my metal, and I'm so excited that I keep finding bands. Now, when I was talking with Keith Michaels recently, real quick there, um, actually the night that it messed up, my first interview night, and it messed up, and didn't even get the show done. I asked him, if you guys remember, I asked him what his favorite all female group was. And he said he wasn't, I don't really know. He wasn't, uh, he's like, I don't even really know of many. But again, usually we know more than we think we do. So there's like Girl School and there's all these other ones. But the one I was mentioning to someone today is Crucified Barbara. Be sure and go back and check out their stuff. They're not together anymore. As soon as I got into them, I got into them on the Midnight Run album, which is great. It's kind of a culmination of it's that moment, you know, when they're coming up and you see what they're gonna do, and then bam, that album came out and they really fired on all cylinders, I think. It was really, really good. And then they put out In the Red, and then they broke up. And that was it. So I was like, oh, damn. So there's so many great female groups out there. Amorettes, please check out the Amorettes. They're from over in the UK, I do believe. I'm sorry, excuse me. These things happen, but it's almost Halloween. I'm just trying to gross you out. But I found these ladies, and if you're familiar with them, I'm going to put up a couple logos because they're so cool looking. Okay, so there you go. Burning Witches. How perfect is this to talk about right before Halloween? There they are. Um, I have some. Let me see if I can grab this information here. So you have on vocals, which I believe is right there in the middle, is Laura Guldemond, and then you have Romana Kalkul, and then Janine J. Grob, and Larissa Ernst, and Lala Fricknecht. So it's really cool stuff. They just put out a brand new 2023 release called The Dark Tower. I was listening to some of it today, but I listened to one of their other albums before that. So they have 2018, they put out Hexenhammer. Then in 2019, they put out Burning Witches and Burning Alive, two albums together. I think what they did was re-released their first album. I could be wrong about that. And there's somebody out there that's really knowledgeable about these guys going, what the hell are you talking about? 2020, Dance with the Devil came out, and 2021 was The Witch of the North. So let's take a look at some of this because it's worth it. It's so good. Such good stuff. Let's take a look here. See what we've got. Here's the cover of The Witch of the North. Some great, cool album covers. I don't want to show you the new one just yet. Here is the Burning Witches and Burning Alive. Here's another one of their logos. That's what I'm just saying. It's such a cool logo. They did such a great job with that. I think it kicks ass. Here's another, the album Hexenhammer. This is the one that came out in 2018. Great album covers. I love that they're painted into the album, the front of the album. I think it's great. It's a great idea. Here's another band shot. And here is their album, Dance with the Devil. Now, if you wanted to order any of their albums, I'm not telling you that this is the best one. I was reading the reviews on Amazon, and it looked like this still got great reviews. And I haven't listened to it yet. I'm getting ready to listen to it today. And I'm eager to get it. It's the best deal. Let me just put it that way. Not like they're all very, very expensive. It's just that the one that's the least expensive is this one right now, brand new. I think it's $13 on Amazon. It's one of those where the shipping cost doesn't make it any better than buying it new, just buy it new. With the shipping, I think it was just like $1 less or whatever. Might have been even the same price somewhere in there. But here's the newest album. Look at their photo. Look at their pictures in there. They're the renditions of them as vampires. And it's just so freaking cool. I mean, come on. The Dark Tower. Now, look at this. This is the vinyl version, which has their images from the painting put on the vinyl there. Comes with a logo patch. They have one of the buying options has this, and then the spattered vinyl. I'd be interested too to ask you guys, but Burning Witches, it's great stuff so far. I listened to oh, come on. I think I started listening to the Hexenhammer. I think that was the first one I listened to. Nope, I'm lying. Witch of the North. That was the first one I started listening to. So I've heard all of it, and then I heard part of The Dark Tower. But have fun checking that out. If you're a metalhead, just get into it, dive in, and have a blast. It's so killer. And some of the sound stuff in between is creepy, especially on this new album. They did some great stuff on there. It's really, really cool. And then as far as the music is concerned, let's see here. Let me see what I've got, because I know I've got more on my playlist that I was eager to tell you about. What's everybody doing for Halloween? And I'm going to get back to what we got going on here. Yeah, hot metal babes. Nice. Very nice. That's just the way it is. They're beautiful women, and they kick ass. That is first and foremost, really. I mean, because if you were just gorgeous and it didn't kick ass, then it's a waste of time, right? You'd just be out there posing. Okay, guys, here's a song that I want to tell you about after I take this here. Iron Maiden kicked off my metal era, but it was Man of War that was and is your favorite metal band. All right. Man of War, kick ass. To be honest, I didn't get into Man of War until about 3 years ago. Um, there was just too many bands and I didn't have enough money. You know, even when I met Ron Keel, I'll tell you all about Ron Keel sometime soon. But even when Ron and I met up in 2004, I had to be honest. And I told him, I said, dude, I didn't get into Keel back in the day. As there's just too many bands and too little money. I just didn't go that way. Y&T was my band, but was one of my bands that I collected. Ingve, I collected that stuff. I remember buying in Quincy, Illinois at the record store, which was 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from school. I went there and picked up Y&T Down for the Count, which had Summertime Girls on it. And I also picked up Vinnie Moore, Mind's Eye there with Tommy Aldrich on drums, who had a great solo in one of the tracks on that album. And I bought Cinderella's first album there, as a matter of fact. And Iron Maiden, I bought Somewhere in Time at that record store that was right there on the main street in Quincy. Yeah, great thing. But Man of War, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I know, right? I love the covers. I'm an art fan. I'm an artist. I don't do that kind of stuff. I wish I could do that kind of stuff. You're hanging with some comic book friends online late night tomorrow night for the holiday. Shut your mouth. Really? Let me ask you this, Miss So. Then I need to know. Ooh, kind of a Dr. Seuss moment there. I need to know if you're. Give me a minute. Are you into one of my all-time favorite artists, Bernie Wrightson? Are you into Bernie Wrightson? Let me know. Yes or no. I'm still all over it. What's going on, Miss So? Oh, I did it again. All right. I'll shut up on that. Or maybe I won't. But anyway, I would love to. I don't yeah. What you hook me up with here you go, guys. I'll give this to you one more time if you haven't had it already. Here's the email where you can send any ideas that you might have, things you might want me to chat about, questions you might want to ask. Always open to send it to me here. Bloop. And one of these days, this is going to bite me in the ass. I know, because I'll be just getting way too much, and I need to. So yeah, send any questions, inquiries, information you might want to send me on how to hang with you tomorrow. And doing that would be a blast. I'm eager to know who they are. I don't even know who you're hanging with, but that would be really cool. And I dig it. But Bernie Wrightson, I'm eager to know if you are familiar with him. He's a guy that's like Master the Macabre. And he did, that's what the comic was that he did, was Master of the Macabre. And then he also would do, like Silver Bullet, it's not called Silver Bullet. The movie was called Silver Bullet with Corey Haim and Gary Busey were in it. But what was the name of the book? Cycle of the Werewolf. He did the artwork for that, and he also I think he did the artwork for Creepshow, the book, the graphic novel. So channel's called Comic Journey. Okay, and he's doing a late night comic book karaoke stream. Oh my God. So that doesn't mean I get to do some karaoke. I got to get my voice ready. It's a little dry. I'm a little dry today. It's not PG. Oh, I don't care. Nope. I'm not PG. So very cool. Good. I look forward to seeing if I can join up with you. That'll be great. So the first song I want to tell you about comes from an album, and maybe I should go get it just so that you can trust what I'm saying. So I gotta look in the D's here, which I think is probably right there. That's D Miola, and it goes to, yep, no, it goes to Disorderlies. I think I gotta go down here. I'm so sorry. I thought this was gonna be a faster moment than this. I gotta remember what I'm looking for. Oh yeah. So when I got this album as a kid, when it came out, and you'll understand why in just a moment, because I had to be like, have the cool song, right? Okay. There again is the shirt. You got to love it. I'm so glad they started doing these retro shirts. And here's the reason why. Because one of my first concerts, and I'll tell you about it more later when I get into this band, because I didn't get a shirt at the time. I didn't have the money, so I didn't buy the shirt. I didn't even know about concerts. I didn't know about merch tables. And it was the first concert, true rock concert. It was a metal concert, but it was a first true concert that I ever went to. And then the next year I'd go to one of my favorites. It was really, really cool. So for Christmas one year, I got this, and if I look here, I'll probably see the year that this came out. Had a big hit off of it. Let's see, I don't even see the year on here. There it is, 1974. So I think in this same year, I got anybody remember the comic book called the hardback book? I think they released it later in paperback, called Origins of Marvel Comics. I have I have my original copy, and I think I got it the same year as I got this record. But that year, they had the album Carl Douglas, Kung Fu Fighting. Now, wait, did you read what it said? Pay attention, because it's important. Let me put it this way. Did you realize that Kung Fu Fighting was a love song? I mean, it's about the love of Kung Fu fighting and kicking ass, right? But because look, Kung Fu Fighting and other great love songs. I never thought about that until just a few years ago. I'm like, Kung Fu Fighting and other great love songs. Okay. Yes, it is a love song. And Die Hard is a Christmas film. So the second song on here is one of the songs I was going to tell you about today, and it is called Witchfinder General. Check that out. That can be added to your list of songs to play while you're hanging out, but don't play it for the kids, because it says, I don't know if I want to tell you. Do I want to tell you? Do you want me to tell you? He'd hunt down. He was a guy who hunted witches, and in the song it says some of them were some mighty fine bitches. So, not his words, not mine. I'm just telling you. Be prepared. That's going to be in there. Okay. Just so that you didn't go, wait, hey, way to go. Thank you. I played that for the children in the neighborhood. And I'm still getting complaints. All right. So, yeah. What was this? I always thought the song was about fighting, right? Nope. It's a love song. It was a love song. Witchfinder General, Carl Douglas. Nightcrawler by Judas Priest. There's a great one to add to your list. I'm trying to see what else. Oh, She-Wolf by Megadeth. Hunter's Night is a really good song by I want to say it's Alan Landy. That's the two guys. It's Russell Allen from Symphony X and Jorn Landy from Jorn, and he also does what's the other one? Why can't I think of the other band? But anyway, they do a great song called Hunter's Night, which is about a woman who hunts down her prey. And Scary Monsters and Super Creeps is a good one too. Boris the Spider is a good one. Even though it's not really, it's just about a spider in a But still, when he goes, Boris the Spider, that's, that is what it is. Trying to see if there's anything else that's really jumping out that not everybody would know, or things that I've bumped across. I did listen to the season of the Witch the other day. That was a good one. Devil's Food and Black Widow from Alice Cooper, from also Welcome to My Nightmare. Oh, here you go. See You in Hell, Fear No Evil, Wrath of the Reaper, and Final Scream. Final Scream. That's got a disturbing opening, but that is all Grim Reaper. So if you haven't listened to a lot of Grim Reaper, check it out. They actually came to town, and I was a little pissed that I missed the show because it was evidently not many people showed up. So it would have been a great little intimate setting. Fear of the Dark. It's great. Let's see. Just trying to see if there's anything else I don't think there's much else. I mean, there's some stuff, but yeah, Hunter's Night, such a good song. If you haven't checked out those Alan Landy albums, the first couple are really, really good. Then it kind of fell off. But then, like, now Russell Allen has done one with a female singer, and I can't think of her name, but he did a whole set of songs with her, and so it's kind of cool. Kind of got him on. Of course, there's tons of songs called Halloween. Halloween did one. King Diamond did one. And I was just noticing how many there were by different people. Oh, and then, so there's two last things that I'll talk to you about before I do this. Or maybe what I'll do is I'll do the unboxing while I'm talking about them. So one other thing to look at, if you ever get a chance, many years ago when I went to the NAMM show, I think it was probably, I want to say it was 2009, right in there. One of the last NAMM shows I went to. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra violinist, one of them, because they have multiple touring groups, was there. Mark, why can't I say Mark's last name? Any other day. Anyway, violinist. He was there, and that was his band that was played on, and they, along with Mark, they backed up Dee Snider when he did the Van Helsing's Curse live stage show that they recorded live in Philly back in 2005, I think it was. So I picked that up. I have that. That's a great thing to watch or listen to. There's a CD for it too. And it's great. My first package today, I have all 3 seasons now on Blu-ray. So got a deal on those. So I took it. Ta-da-ta-da. So there you go. Nice to have those. I'll look forward to doing that because I didn't want to. I'm not going to buy Paramount. I'm not going to, or whatever, pay for the service. And then let's see if this. I'm eager to see if this is what I thought I was opening yesterday. But yeah, it seemed like there was one other thing I was going to mention too. Now that I was thinking about it, music-wise, but that's okay. No worries. We can get this wrapped up. Yep, there it is. This is it. So I wonder if they'll be talking, Miss So. I wonder if they'll be talking about this on tomorrow night. The Reign of Marvel Studios by Joanna Robinson, Dave Gonzalez, and Gavin Edwards. MCU book. So this kind of goes through the unauthorized behind the scenes. Here, I'll hold it up and read it so you can see it. The unauthorized behind the scenes story of the stunning rise and suddenly uncertain reign of the most transformative cultural phenomenon of our time, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Damon Lindelof. I watched all the movies. I devoured all the articles. I listened to all the pods. I thought I knew everything there was to know about the MCU. And then I read this magnificent book for fans, by fans, hilarious, gripping, and emotional. No Infinity Stone is left unturned. I loved it 3,000. How about that? Helen O'Hara of Empire said a deeply researched and engagingly written spin through Marvel history that gives credit where it's due without papering over cracks. Even the biggest fan will find new revelations and new perspectives in the often first-hand accounts of the studio's climb to the world dominance. Excuse me. So I've heard great things about this. Nerdrotic is preparing to do a big deep dive with this. It's been mentioned by Critical Drinker and others in that. But yeah, I heard about it and I'm like, this is a real. It's been a big concern of mine over the years. So and I'm eager to know what these guys have to say about it, because everything sure flopped, and I sure want to know what they say about the Shang-Chi situation, if they get into that. But I'm just hoping it doesn't turn into what I was talking about on one of my other shows a couple weeks ago, where I was mentioning about, why did they skip over that? So I hope I don't get to that and they're just like, oh yeah, Shang-Chi, blah blah blah, and don't really get down to the fact that it didn't represent Shang-Chi at all. So I was more of a DC kid. Awesome. So I'm still not familiar with a lot of Marvel characters and storylines. So the movies were my introduction. Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. And I'm I'm also sympathetic or empathetic, not sympathetic. How about that? Empathetic. Um, all right. A little sympathetic, I think too. Sorry about the DC movies. So you should have had better. You should have had a lot better. And why they didn't just use the guy that did the Flash TV show, I don't know. These days we're more into indies. Yeah, manga. Yeah. So have you seen the live action One Piece yet? I'm eager to know. Um, and because I'd like to see what you think about that. I really enjoyed the show, but again, it's my concern that I'm the guy who comes in and goes, "Oh man, that was a great show," because I really like the writing and I like the characters, but were they misrepresented? I don't know. Ah, Dennis says he's a Crimson. He's a Crimson Cross guy too. DC guy, but Marvel and others were still part of my. Yeah, I was kind of the other way. I was always a Marvel, but there were plenty of DC characters that I really liked. Batman, Aquaman, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, and then much later I liked like Wildcat. I thought he was cool. Some of the deep dive characters. Of course, I own like the Plastic Man cartoon and stuff like that. So there was plenty of stuff out there that I liked, and I enjoyed like the Superman movies and well, I'm sorry, the Superman movie. I liked the first one a lot. I did recently purchase the set that had of Superman 2 that had the Richard Donner version, which I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was really neat that they showed a whole other side of it. Um, so all right. Yeah, that'd be great, Crimson. That'd be great to see you there too. Anyone here is welcome, she says. That's great. And I love that. I love the Avatar. One Piece is just meh. Okay. More into sci-fi stories. All right, no matter what the medium. Okay, good to know. That's cool. Um, so are you a fan of Pitch Black? Speaking of scary movies that are science fiction. And also, Miss So, let me make mention again of I'm never quite sure where I've said this before. I know I've talked about it on Go Game Go even as well. Um, so, but check out that Star One stuff by Arian Anthony Lucasen. Um, I'll do a deep dive on some of that stuff. because it talks about so many of those great movies, things that are science fiction, Star Wars, Star Trek. The first album was all about outer space science fiction. Um, Outland. What'd you think of Outland? I loved that movie too. That was a great one. Um, and then he also does Alien, Enemy Mine, the old BBC TV show, Blake Seven is represented on there. Doctor Who is represented on there. Um, but it's fantastic, fantastic stuff. The music on that album is great. And then the next album, Victims of the Modern Age, is all about the earthbound science fiction. So Matrix and other things like that. Now they just released a new one. He just put out a brand new one, which is called Revel in Time, and it's all about time travel. It's a bunch of his favorite movies about time travel: Bill and Ted, Back to the Future, um, and others. I don't know, I don't own it yet, but I've listened to it, and it's pretty good. That first album though, Star One Space Metal, it oh, it it kicks so much ass. I can't even. I can't. It in so many different directions. Um, so yeah, but do check that out. You're gonna enjoy it. I know you will. So for our movies today, just remember you got your classics that everybody loves. You got House, Lost Boys, Sweeney Todd, if you want to go that direction, and Rocky Horror. I know we're gonna try to watch Rocky Horror here. How is it though? If you, well, you know what? Here's the good thing. I'm gonna leave us with this. You've never seen Outland. Oh, Sean Connery. You got to watch it. It's very good. I love it. I love that movie. And it also has Peter Boyle is in it as well, and lots of other great character actors that you've seen, especially the woman who works in the mining area. She's like I think she's a doctor. I think that's what her character is. And you've seen her before, and she's a great, great actor. And I always enjoy her. She's got this great projection. There's a woman that was in Silo that reminds me of her. But I know it's not the same person. It can't be the same person because this woman was older when she did Outland. But she's so cute. I just love her. And she's real sassy too. That's why else I like too. She doesn't take any crap from Sean Connery. Um, but yeah, I don't remember where I was anyway. But yeah, Outland's great, great movie. Great movie. Saturn 3. I remember hearing about that. I've never seen it. That robot scared the crap out of me. I really want to come on and do another one of these tomorrow and chat with you guys about the Halloween stuff and talk to you about movies here and things that scared the crap out of you. Thank you very much for saying that, because that means something to me. When I was a kid, I saw Dan Curtis's Norliss tapes, which was the predecessor to Kolchak, the Night Stalker. And then they put out the Night Stalker and the Night Strangler. I don't remember the Night Strangler. I have it and I own it. And I've watched it multiple times, but I was not familiar with it back in the day. But I was familiar with the Night Stalker, which is the one where he went after the vampire. Oh man, that one creeped me out. But even then, the Norliss tapes, and that's one of those things I mentioned it on that show, where they had this Dan Curtis movie that I bought, and they skipped right over Norliss tapes, didn't even talk about it, and I was dying to hear about it, but they didn't do spit about it on there. Hey, my cat's messing around with stuff. That's that packaging. So have a great night and Halloween, and I'll have to listen to Halloween tomorrow. To Halloween, yeah, you got to listen to Halloween tomorrow. Yeah, the Keeper of the Seven Keys 1 and 2, right? I remember when those came out. I loved it. I still have my vinyl for the first one, and then I remember there was a guy at one of the offices where I worked, and he had a box full of CDs that he was just getting rid of. He had gotten them from his brother or something, and it was stuff he didn't like or want. And he had both Halloween albums in there of The Keeper and the Seven Keys, part 1 and 2. And I loved it. I loved it. So, yeah. So, okay, well, good. I'm gonna make sure that I keep track of the information in there, Miss So, that you gave us about tomorrow, about joining with the group, talking about Comic Journey. Remember that, guys? It's called Comic Journey, and I'm gonna make sure I write that down because sometimes I don't always see all of the stuff that's on my screen, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. Um, Comic Journey. That's cool. Yeah, because I'm dying to check out stuff like that. And I have a friend of mine actually who's going to be hopefully joining me on the show periodically to do these little bits about comic book and superheroes, things that we grew up with. Because I have both of the. If you're interested, they're not that expensive because I'm really cheap. But they had the Marvel um, encyclopedia and the DC encyclopedias out there. Might want to check those out. They're only like $25 or something, but it was, maybe under $25 that I got those. So really cool stuff. And we'll do some deep dives into some of that stuff down the line. Because it all goes together. It's a part of the scene. All right, guys. Well, you have a great time. This has been longer than I thought it was going to be. We didn't see Sam yet, but I'll keep in touch with him, and I may see if he can pop on with me tomorrow, and hopefully we can do that. In the meantime, I didn't mention it earlier, but I'll do it here at the end. And please like and subscribe if you're digging what's going on here. I am so looking forward to building this over the next year and a half and seeing where we go with this. It's not going to only last a year and a half, but that's when I'm going to be able to kick in some more time doing this. And so I'm kind of just building it. I'm not in a hurry to get too crazy because I still got a job, but it's all good though, and I'm enjoying it. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out today. You guys have a great Halloween Eve, and if I may be back tomorrow. We'll see what's going on. I can't wait to talk to Sam, see what's shaking, see if he can get with me tomorrow, and we'll see how everything looks on Halloween over there. And then also, then we will see how everything is looking for them getting into their first show. So have a great one. Remember, when you walk out your door every day, you're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours. So if you're in that passing lane and you're just driving and nobody's on your right, get the hell over. And if you think it's still a cute idea to have a phone conversation with your speaker on in the middle of a store or in the middle of a restaurant, it's not. Those aren't speakers. It's a gnat attack. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful time. Miss So says that he hasn't posted any update yet. Okay. All right, cool. Send more detailed email. Okay, great. Can't wait. I'll keep an eye out. You guys take it easy and have a great, great evening. Take care.